we will be talking about an autobiography which was released last week. It was of the tennis legend Jaydeep Mukherjee. He was among the first who participated in all the 4 Grand Slams. If you have ever come to Kolkata, you would know there are 2-3 famous clubs, old clubs of Kolkata. These were supposedly the tennis hubs. Honestly, I didn't know this. I read a lot about the club culture of Kolkata from this book. I got to know a lot about it from this book. Definitely read this book. Hello and welcome to TBR 3rd episode. Well, today we will talk about a different sport. In the first 2 episodes of TBR, obviously we spoke about tennis. But today we will talk about a bigger sport. What are you guys imagining? Cricket? No. The sport called Society, Life, and this is the book. Let me show you the book first because it's a very interesting cover. Now, anyone watching it, anyone seeing it can think it's about 7 Bengali guys who are named Saha. Close, but not that close. And people who have read Cho Nam Joo's name, they are probably thinking of King Ji-young, born 1982. Exactly. The same author, the same translator, Jamie Chang, this time has come with a new book called Saha. Just one, Saha. So what is this book about? First, let's take a look at that. Well, we all live in a world which is driven by hierarchies. Social hierarchies, the higher class, the middle class, the lower class, the upper middle class, the lower middle class. What if you belong to a category which is actually not a category? And something that people think is undeserving of any sort of recognition. Like you exist, like a fly, a mosquito, but you're not really recognized. You're not really that significant. You're breathing, but not significant enough. Saha takes place in a former town of fish farms that has been taken over by a corporate, unspecified, unknown corporation. The odd city, it's not really a company, it's not really a country, and it has been renamed town. Now this town has 2 kinds of citizens. Before this I had heard about 2 different kinds of employees, full-time employees, part-time employees, but in this particular town, there are full citizens who are known as Ls, who lead luxurious, proper life, and then there are L2s who are basically exploited workers and they have temporary visa. So there's a third category which belongs to the L2s who are not really climbing up the ladder, or they just can be other citizens who have been living in a crumbling apartment. This whole apartment complex is known as the Saha estate. And our main scene of the whole novel is this Saha estate. The part protagonist, I would say, because there are 4 or 5 different very strong characters with backgrounds which actually relate, which actually tell you the story why they ended up in Saha estate. Do Kyung and Jin Kyu are 2 siblings who are absolutely inseparable. And Do-kyung, in the first chapter, this is where a thriller begins. Well, in the first chapter, Do-kyung is found with a dead body, and he leaves the dead body there and goes away. Now, did Do-kyung kill her? That's not the main part. The main part is that is where it begins, and it ends with his sister GQ still searching for explanations about her brother's disappearance. However, the majority of the book is not only about Do-kyung and Jin-kyu. There are other characters of the Saha estate, and they also take a big chunk of the book. And this Saha estate and the surroundings are taken care of by a council of ministers. Do they exist? What do they do? You have to pick up the book for that. Well, it is, in one sentence, Saha is a depiction of the fight of people trying to live their life in a world where if they don't exist, people would love it. But since they exist, people bully them. People force them to work for them. Let's go to some of my favorite quotes. I want a proper life, a young Saha says. Not to be merely alive like a worm or a moth or a cactus, but to really live. Well, did she really live? Did she get her life back? That's there in the book. I'm not going to reveal it. It's a book review, guys. Not spoilers. Next, Yeonwa, an L2 who spends her life searching for a ticket to L status. Finally, she is offered a life-changing job. A life-changing job offered to most women? Marriage? Well, that marriage wasn't really as convenient as portrayed. But pregnant Yeonwa then had to run back to Saha Estates, where she actually got married to run away from Saha Estates. But you know what? When you belong to a certain class, the society forces you to go back to that class. This part it was such a fascinating read. It's a longish quote, guys. Unofficially, the greatest scandal in the history of town. Officially, a Saha male raping and murdering a citizen female. In the end, Do-kyu could not protect Soo from being passed around as the protagonist of vulgar gossip. And no amount of struggle could get Do-kyu out of the snare he was caught in. While the rest of the town thought they had Soo all figured out, Do-kyu would always think of Soo as a wonder. Last quote, because this is such an important topic. The life of a woman has been flowing according to cause and effect like a ribbon. But it is interrupted with the birth of a child, as if cut with a blade. There was no telling how the child's life would turn out either. A child coming into the world wasn't always the best thing. Well, now let's move on from the quotations to my takeaway. When I started the book, I started it because I thought it's a thriller. I wouldn't really say that the thriller part is fascinating. You don't really get goosebumps in the thriller part. But what actually gives you goosebumps is the way it exposes the society. And while it was written about a South Korean society, it is relatable in India too. How many times have we faced othering because of a certain class we belong to? Recently we went to a party of a little high class people, and one of my friends remarked, we had gone there for work, and one of my friends remarked, "Are you enjoying the party?" I said, "No, somehow." He actually completed my sentence. He said, "Are you feeling that you don't belong here?" True, probably, middle class people do not belong to higher class, and that in small ways, that class, how much ever you work, how much ever you change, that class divide is always there. you are somehow made to feel that class divide. In small words, in small actions, in small sentences, in small, smiles. But it's there. Now, should you pick up this book or not? You definitely should. I mean, the writing, good. The translation, good. Why shouldn't you pick it up? Pick it up, but again, if you have it in you, to withstand some of the cutthroat truths of the society. Also, this is a small message for one of our regular viewers, Shayani. Finally, a book which is not a sports related one, and many more to come. But to, of course, to increase my range, I would like my viewers to just leave a small message of a book that they want me to read, or maybe a book that you guys are reading. Why don't you tell me what you guys are reading, and maybe we can read together, so that when I review, I can of course check my notes with you guys. Do keep following us, do keep sharing the videos, and do keep sharing your feedbacks, which we have been getting and we have been loving it. Do join me next week, and some other book, some new book. Let's see, maybe a mystery. You'll see. For now, do like, share and subscribe. I know you know the drill of YouTube channels. Take care and have a good day.